Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Here I want to show you a really cool thing I made with my 3D printer. This is in contention for the world's smallest Targetmaster transformer. Now, what I have here is a small 3D printed version of it and one assembled version of it. I'm going to try and assemble this one for you on film here. And there's a couple of changes I've made on this new iteration. I've allowed this screw to be sunk in a little bit more. As you can see, there's a little bit of room where that could fit in. And the head is 1.5 millimeters too tall, so I've shrunk that down accordingly. I've created an additional plug just so I could use it with my Masterpiece Bumblebee, because I think that's kind of appropriate and correctly sized. And I've been printing it in this format for a long time, but it's now only that I'm working out the final kinks, because it's just kind of been a knick-knack, and to me it's been too small to really notice any detail from afar, so it's been working all right so far. But I want to make something new for TFCon and show it off. So yeah, I've gotten back to it, and I'm going to do a little bit of reworking, and let's see how this goes. And I'm open to suggestions as well, so leave your comments and suggestions in the comment section below. I've ordered a few of these small screws from Amazon, a few meaning a few hundred, and we'll see how this makes it better to assemble. Because before I was using brass pins, which was it was locally available at my local hobby shop. So this is a new iteration. I'll talk as I go, I suppose. So I'm going to start taking this one apart, and I'll try to keep this in focus here, or rather on cam. So this iteration, I've increased the diameter of the support pegs, but I've kept the attachment point to 0.3 millimeters in diameter. So they should pop off very easily with very little cleanup. If there is any cleanup needed, I've got my glass file prepped. So this heel actually snaps off. And yeah, I'll file that down. This side will do the same thing. This kind of crumbles apart a lot easier, but I just want to see if I go delicately, what's the deal with the cleanup? Also, I'm looking at the monitor instead of looking at my hands here, just so I can keep this in view, and also to challenge myself. Oh, great. Okay, those two pieces fell off on its own, which I kind of expected. This one, you can see there's still a little bit of residue. I'm not sure if that's the alcohol or the resin. Probably both. And this one has a standoff on either side there, and they're long pieces. They're not pegs, so I'm just going to break this one apart. Wow. That leg should come off there. Okay, so this is the bottom side that has a chamfer for the screw to go in. Let's just give that screw a test. So that should slide on in because I want the waist to pivot. And that's it, sort of flush. I kind of eyed it. These are these Chinese screws. Oh, did that go all the way in? It did. Wow. Wow. Really? First try. Okay, that's excellent. Okay, fun. Good start. I'm looking here. This ball came out a little bit rounded. Not round, rather. So that's the problem I've been having. Let's get a close-up here, see if we can do a little bit better. Yeah, I can really see that. So this ball, for the ball joint, didn't come out very round, so that's not going to hold on very well. And the reason for that, it seems like that... Hard to say exactly what happened. This side seems to have the same situation as well. So the full, can't create the full ball from just that one point there. So that'll have to be reworked. Very small. As you can see, these layer lines are very small. I think these are 0.1 millimeter layer lines. Pretty sure. For rapid printing. Okay, let's go back to it. Assemble it together as it is. So these are the legs. And we'll just pop it on. There's very little finishing, so yeah, that goes in a little too easy. It stays in. It stays on rather, but it's a little bit loose. It should be a little bit tighter. Or rather, I would like to have it a lot tighter. And this side, same thing. It stays on, but it's loose. Good enough for now. And the next component, well, these are the legs, so I forget which is front. So I have this one as demonstration, and it would appear that I guess it doesn't matter. Or does it? So this one has kind of a line running through it. So it is a ball joint, but it's a one-directional ball joint, and that would fit into the slot on the back. And the additional slots is just for clearance of this joint here. And that should be on, and it is. So this one always prints reliably because it has a solid base there, of course. And we got the other leg. That's not quite on. And I felt that. So these lines here are a centimeter. So the lower half is a centimeter, I suppose. And then we'll get this screw. I hope it's not too long. Pretty sure this is the one I cut. They come in at 10 millimeters, which I think I'd like 8 millimeters, but they don't actually make them in 8 millimeters. But since they're so thin, they're 1.4 millimeter diameter plastic screws. They're pretty easy to clip, just with a pair of nippers. So this is the top half. So these are the arms and the torso. The torso I just printed right on the bottom. So that might need a little bit of adjustment in the hole because of the bottom layers. Squishes that. It kind of flattens out the bottom layers. It's called elephant's foot. And these ones I didn't change the size. They're a little bit, they've been larger and they print pretty well. These ball joints are pretty good because they have that arm on the bottom. And from this view, they look good. And they're not so bad. I made quite a few adjustments to make sure that the bottom layer doesn't expand so much. So it actually seems very good. This will be very tight on the screw, so I might need to just prep it by pre-threading it with another screw, which is what I'll do here. Oh dear. Should I do it from the top? Let's do it from the top. Okay, no problems there. That's the top half. Bottom half. Let's work on the, well, let's finish the arms here. So, should I use a knife? I mean, it's not going to make for a better cut, I think. I brought with me a glass file, so let's just use that and see the finish there. So, yeah, I don't need to zoom in. You can see those nubblies there. Let's get rid of that with a file. So this is a glass file. It should leave a nice smooth surface, but let's see. That came out very nice. That came out really nice. I could file it further and get rid of those layer lines, but honestly, with the microscope, it's so hard to see even. It's good for now. And I'm just going to use a knife to try and clip off that end because this is from that printed part and it will get in the way. Okay. And just to smooth it straight, and we'll get the other one. Not too bad. It's flat, that's the main thing. And then the end only has a little bit. So I ordered a few extra of these glass files from Amazon, and they'll be available at my booth, at the Children of Primus booth at TFCon on July 12th to 14th, 2024 at the Hilton Meadowvale Hotel, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. I hope to see you all there. That's going to be a great show. I love TFCon. I go every year. I'm going for I don't know how many years. It's going to be a great one this year. Okay, so we got those arms. Let's get those arms on. Of course, this orientation doesn't matter. Again, a similar thing. There's a ball joint on a linear swivel peg. Linear ball joints. It does have rotation, but you have to angle it a certain way. But when it's in this way, when it's, it has a linear motion. And you can feel it kind of, it's guided there. And that head would pop in the middle, presumably. So again, this head is, well, it's the head. It's a new version. And I haven't put a screw in the head before, so we'll see how this screw holds up. Again, it's a 1 point, I keep saying again, it's a 1.4 millimeter screw, and I believe the head is a 2 millimeter. Maybe I increased it to 2.4 millimeter, but we'll see what the tolerance is for those arms in the transformation. So for the remainder of this, I'm going to file that flat. Yeah, I totally missed a spot there. Oh, that's far from good enough. It's hard to see depth. It's hard to see depth perception with this microscope. So in some cases, I just gotta hold it up to my eyes. I'm sorry for doing this off camera, but this head is super tiny. Of course, this is just a prototype, so it doesn't really matter if I make mistakes, because this has to be reproducible. That's one important thing about making a product, is that it has to be easily manufactured. And if it's not easy to manufacture, then, well, of course, the price is going to be high. That looks pretty flat to me. I think I shaved off a little bit extra, but we'll see. Oh, not too bad. Just on the corner there. So let's, again, pre-tap this screw. Pre-thread the screw. Pre-thread the head. Now it's important I do this incredibly straight because there's a very thin sidewall. And there's very little room for error. That's going in really well. Wow. Very surprised. Okay, so that should be a success. So the legs goes into the body. Boy, oh boy. I'm sure this will get easier the more I get in the swing of things if I start assembling these for TFCon. I just want to put this together as a proof of concept. I've never used screws for my 3D prints before, necessarily. Nothing this size, not for my transformers, rather. Yeah, I've used a lot of screws. Well, just recently I've used a screw to assemble my NES controller adapter, to assemble the back cover. A screw and a bolt. Yeah, hex bolts is often something that I might incorporate into 3D print. But never plastic screws like this. Because with resin, they tend to crack. They don't take threads very well. Okay, those threads are off, unfortunately. Oh, maybe it just doesn't want to thread on at all. What's the dealio here? Is that full of gunk? What's going on there? Oh, what is going on there? Oh, you know, maybe I was trying to screw it on the wrong side. Huh. That would explain that. Would really help if I could see what I was doing. Huh. Here we go. It's in a position. Wow. Did that just work? Awesome. And, oh, great. See, what I was concerned with was if it was too wide, the arms wouldn't go straight. But now it's too thin, and the arms go over straight. Rather, it's got that a little bit of an angle. No, not really. That's actually quite good. And the height is great. I didn't file too much. Lines up correctly. Hip can swivel. Screw is hidden. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's great. So, and the next step is the pegs here. So there is a spot on the back, which it seems this side is gunked. Yeah, that's just gunk in there. Darn. Okay. That's some residual alcohol and resin. My cleaning tank is getting dirty, seems. All right, no worries. Deal with that. And then this should be a press fit. They're both 2 millimeters in diameter. No tolerance, so it should just grind in. Oh, and I'm just noticing now that I didn't file off the back of this leg. So let's give that a go. Not much left, eh? Let's get a better file here. Or rather, more coarse file, and then we'll go back to the other one. That go flat? Pretty good. And back to this guy. So this is very much a finishing file. It gives a really nice shiny surface because the dots in here are all flat. And the depth is always going to be even. So, yeah, it's a great file. I would have to work it a lot more to get a nice shiny surface. I just wanted to get it flat there so we could start working on the attachment, which is here. So just by turning it with friction, that should remove some of the material enough where I could spin this in here. So I tried this once. Of course, this would work, but I made the depth too small, and the amount of debris that I pushed off when I'm wearing off the material, it caked up in there because I had nowhere to go. So what I'm going to do is just going to go in a little bit, take off a little bit of that dust, and then give her the rest of the way. Just by twisting it, should be able to go in with no problem. Right on, it's in. I could push it more, but again, testing purposes, it's good. So that's the guy. Let's assemble it. Let's see if I put the legs on the right way. That's his one leg. That's his other leg. And yeah, he's articulated. So with that peg in the back of his foot, it gives him some stability to stand. Well, if I put it straight there. Those hip joints are very loose, so on the next iteration, I'm going to find a way to better support those ball joints, of course. But there you have it. He's less than an inch. He's about 3/4 of an inch. He's a centimeter and a half, 15 millimeters. I had to get a ruler here. Oh, of course, this is only metric ruler. But, oh, 2 centimeters. I thought those squares were a centimeter, but no, I guess that's half an inch. Yeah, those lines are an inch. Oh, there you go. So that's 3/4 of an inch. Boom. So for size comparison, I brought here a Dr. Arkaville. It's actually shorter than a Dr. Arkaville, so this is really small for a masterpiece scale even. And I brought in a Micromaster figure, which is huge in comparison. Of course, it would make sense because he's a vehicle, right? He's a minivan, and the people have to fit in the minivan. A bit small for Dr. Arkaville, but still. So, yes, there is this guy. Cool. So, let's see what he looks like transformed, because this is a new version with a better size head. And let me show you the transformation here. So this is the wrong way. I put the legs on the wrong side, I believe. Okay, so the way it goes is there's some slots, so these... Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. That's a shame I don't have instructions. I'm going to make instructions for this, of course. So the way it goes is... Here we go. No. Wow. Okay, this is more confusing than it should be, but there's a slot here, and it's angled in such a way where maybe what I'll do is I'll angle it up, and that'll tell me where it has to go. There, like, no, I have to angle it back. Oh, that's the deal, is I put these on the wrong leg. That was the possibility. Did I do it again? Or maybe that they're backwards. No. What in the heck is going on? Did I not print the right one? Oh my god, here we go. Yeah, I was looking at it wrong. Oh my. Hips keep falling off. A little wobbly bobbly on those hips. You could even see the gaps there. Let's zoom in and have a look. Yeah, if I manipulate it, you can see those hips swing in. It's actually supposed to be very tight. So where are other room for improvements? Those arms, when they lock into the legs, that's actually supposed to prevent this type of movement. I'm going to attribute that to removing and inputting those legs so many times. I wasn't really thinking it through as I was putting it in. But that's very cool. It worked out very well. This new iteration, this sunken screw head, and that head works very well. So let's go back. This video is getting long, but let's give another transformation. Should I use tweezers? This actually might be better to manipulate with tweezers. Not really. Boom. Again, those hips. Yeah, he stands really well. No problem with the ball joints. He could even do a kick because of his one leg having that support. But he can't do it because his hips are not working here. So yeah, that's something I got to figure out on the next iteration. I'm going to leave it here. That's all I have for today. except for maybe a sneak peek at what I'm working on next. It's not really anything new, but that's something that I'll be bringing with me to TFCon for sale, if you can guess what that's for. So that's my guy as a work in progress. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.